consistency to build a little bit of community to make the suffering we're about to do a little bit more fun, a little bit more easy, kind of, to stay consistent with. All right. I was like, is it easy? Is it more easy? I don't know. But hopefully, because we're doing it together, it's a little bit easier for you to stick around and get the work done. All right. I'm going to move this out of the way real fast so I don't kick it later while I'm doing stuff. And we're going to get into our warm-ups. All right. We're going to do some hip cars. Hip cars look a little bit like this. We're going to stand on one leg, then we're going to take our other leg, and we're going to do lots of crazy things with it. The goal is to contract our muscles to lift the leg into crazy positions, rotate and spin and do crazy things. All right. Let's get ready to go. I'm going to start demonstrating. We're going to start by lifting our knee up as high as we can, directly in front. From here, we're going to open up. We're going to flex our glutes. We're going to feel a stretch here in the front. We're going to bring that knee out, that away. If you can, lift it a little bit higher while you're at it. All right. From here, we're going to rotate that leg so that the heel comes up. It's hidden behind the knee. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this, right? It's like horizontal. But from the front, it's going to look like your ankle has disappeared, whoosh, like magic. From here, we're going to rotate our knee down and reveal our ankles again. Another magic trick. And then we're going to bring the leg down and back. All right. When we bring the leg down and back, from the side, it's going to look like this. We're going to flex the hamstrings. We're going to flex the glutes. We're going to feel that stretch here in the front of the hip. That is one rep. We're going to do 10 of these. On the left side, 10 on the right side. Then we're going to reverse the order, then 10 more on the left, 10 more on the right. Let's get ready to go. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's four. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's five. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's six. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's seven. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's eight. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's nine. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Whew. If your hips are feeling a little tired, perfect. That's exactly how you're supposed to feel. We're going to move on to the other side. All right. Just like before, we're balancing all of our weight on one leg. We're going to bring the other leg up and down and do all sorts of crazy things. Let's go. Stand nice and strong. Keep that core tight. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's four. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's five. We're already halfway through on this set. Oh, six. Keep on lifting as high as you can. Open it up wide. Point your knee that way. Rotate the ankle up, 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 up until your hamstring is about to crack. Bring the leg down and back. And seven. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's eight. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's nine. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Oh, those are some hip curls going forward. All right. Now let's go ahead and go in reverse. When we go in reverse, we bring this leg down and back first. We're flexing the hamstrings, we're flexing the glutes, we're feeling the stretch right here in the front. Then from here, we're going to lift that leg up to the side. It's going to look like you're going to go pa and kick somebody, but we're not doing that. We're just lifting and using this muscle right here in the side of your hip. All right. Then we're going to rotate. We're going to bring the knee down. We're going to lift the ankle up. Then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to rotate some more, bring the ankle down, bring the knee up. We're going to bring everything to the front. We're using our muscles to bring our leg through a ton of the range of motion. So we're getting stronger and more mobile at the same time. All right. Oh, man, that was a long demo. My leg is tired. Let's do this. We got 10 reps. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's one. Take your time with it. There is no rush. But do know that the longer you hold every position, the more tired your muscles are going to be. So maybe the rush is you're just going to run out of strength. And that's probably not the end of the world. All right. I think that's four. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's five. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. 6, back, side, ankle, ankle, knee, 7, back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 8. I think I saw somebody just ask, what is this? Maybe? I can't really see because the font is a little small, but I got a confirmation from the person next to me monitoring the chat. These are called hip CARs. CAR stands for controlled articular rotations, and it's all about moving your leg through as much range of motion as possible using your own muscles. And for example, if you were to lift your knee up as high as you can, right, you probably get to somewhere. But if you take your arms, you pull on that leg, you can probably get a little bit higher. That is going to be the case for most people. For most people, you're going to have a little bit more flexibility than you have the ability to control. What we're trying to work on here is using our own muscles to get into these positions and try really hard to contract and pull ourselves into these positions so that we get stronger, so that we can get into these positions that our body's already capable of letting us get into. All right, but we have control and we're able to do stuff with it instead of just being like, look, if I pull my leg up, I can get there too. Just that type of stuff. All right, that's one leg. Yeah, one last leg. Let's do this. Oh, I'm sweating today. All right, stand nice and straight and tall. Keep that core tight. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 1. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 2. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 3. I try to do some front split stretching a little earlier, and one of the reasons why I don't do it very often is because my left knee has like a little nagging, lingering thing that occasionally pops up, and I haven't had anything with it in a very long time, like months and months and months. And I was like, hey, you know what? Let's work on some front splits and see if I magically have gotten a little bit deeper or something. And lo and behold, I did a couple. My knee was like, I don't like that. Right now, that knee is the one that is doing the standing right now, and I'm feeling it a tiny little bit while I'm bouncing. And that is why this story is relevant. That is 10 reps. I don't know if you've been keeping at my pace, but if you need more time, feel free to take it because I'm gonna do some talking. All right. Whew, that's our first warm-up exercise. Those are hip CARs. We did the forward, we did the reverse. Now we're going to move on into our second warm-up exercise. It's called the elephant walk. What I want you to do is stand up nice and straight and tall, fold at the hips, bring your belly button down into the ground, and relax. Breathe, chill. If your knees aren't liking this position, give it a slight bend. That should make everything a little bit easier. All right? Whew. Once you've relaxed here for a second, we're going to straighten out one leg and bend the other while folding our belly button down a little bit more, right? I want you to feel that stretch in your hamstrings, and I want you to switch back and forth, the leg that is bent and the leg that is straight. All right, so let's switch and feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Switch again. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Keep on switching. Woo! Now, I'm going to tell you about what the rest of the show is going to look like. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. If you like side splits, if you like the idea of moving better, maybe kicking a little higher, maybe getting into some crazier positions with your legs so that you can sit more comfortably, then this is probably a show that makes sense for you to do. All right. If you like the idea of training consistently, then this might be a show that makes sense for you too. All right. We do this show every single day starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, which means we started probably about 10 minutes ago. And we do that every day, Monday through Sunday, so that we can help each other stay a little bit more consistent. All right. Now that you know all those things, if it sounds like this is something you want to definitely do more, hit follow, hit subscribe, and if you're not sure, stick around because we got a whole rest of the show to do. All right. Let's continue. Fold a little bit deeper. Fold a little bit deeper. See if you can go a little bit deeper after that, and let's continue. 5 more. 5, 4. Keep on switching from side to side. 3, 2, 1. 0. All right, come on now. That stretch, pop into a squat, come into standing. That is our second warm-up exercise. Shake out your legs, relax your body, and let's get into warm-up exercise number 3. We're going to do some thoracic rotation. The thoracic spine is this chunk of your back, below your neck, basically about your belly button-ish area. All right, it's designed to rotate bend, forward bend, back bend, all those bends. And for the most part, you're probably not doing very many of most of those. All right, so we're going to do some thoracic rotation together. We're going to get back into the same position we were just in. One leg is bent, one leg is straight. We're folding our belly buttons down towards the ground, all right, just like before. And this time, we're going to take our hands, we're going to take the one that is on the bent leg side. We're going to reach across to the straight leg. We're going to push off of this shin bone, all right? Don't push off the knee. Don't push off the ankle. Don't do that. Push off the shin bone, all right? And from here, when you push, I want you to rotate your spine. I want you to extend your arm up into the air. I want you to rotate your neck to look at that hand. And I want you to inhale. I want you to exhale and reach over your shoulder. Woo! That is half a rep, and that is how we're setting up our thoracic rotation. All right, let's switch to the other side. Bent leg, straight leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Inhale. Exhale and reach. That is our first rep. We're doing 5 in total. All right. You can experiment a little bit with how wide your legs are. R. I don't know why it sounded weird when I said it. You can experiment with how wide your legs are. You can experiment with how far forward you want to bend before you start rotating, and see if you can find a comfortable spot that works for you. All right, let's keep going. Bent leg, straight leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Look at the hand. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Whew, that's 2. Other side. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Whew. Let's go for a 3. Inhale. Exhale, reach. 3 on the other side. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 3. 4 and 5. Let's do it. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 4. Other side. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 4. Number 5, we're going to cover it from the top, right? We're bending forward, folding. We're bending one leg. We're straightening out the other. All right. We're taking the arm from the bent leg side. We're reaching across. We're pushing off the shin bone. All right. Not the knee, not the ankle, the shin bone to help us rotate our spines. I want you to extend your arm up. I want you to rotate your head to look at that hand. And I want you to exhale, inhale, exhale, and reach over your shoulder. Inhale, exhale, and reach. That's 5. Other side. Inhale, exhale, and reach. Woo! That is our thoracic rotation. Benji, did you want to leave? You want to go? Yes? No? You going? No? All right. Well, the doggo was indecisive. He was standing in front of the door for a second. And I thought he wanted to leave, and I was like, "I'll just finish a thoracic rotation. And I'll let you out." And he has since turned around. So whatever caught his attention, he doesn't care anymore. He wants to be here with me. All right. Anyways, we're moving on into our 4th and final warm-up exercise. We're doing some Cossack switches. They look a little bit like this. We are dropping down into a squat on one leg, and we're extending the other leg out to the side like we're doing a side split. All right. Ultimately, we want to get low to the ground and get really deep into the stretched out position down here. But if you're new to the show, your version might look more like this. All right. And that's perfectly okay. It's perfectly fine. So from here, wherever you are in this position, whether you're down here or up here, our next step is to move our butt that away. Do the same thing on the other side. If you're a little bit higher up, it might be a little easier for you to just go, boop, come on over. But if you're a little lower to the ground, you're like, how am I supposed to do this? Feel free to try to use your hands to give yourself a little bit of support. Walk your body over to the other side. Try to sink into it a little bit wherever you are. Exhale. And come on back. Come on across. Whew, that is 1 rep. I don't know how many of those you've already done back and forth during my demonstration, but we're counting as 1 rep. We're doing 9 more. All right. Get as low as you can. Feel nice and strong. Make sure nothing is feeling super achy just yet. And come on across. Whew, that's 2. Come on back. What are you doing? That's 2 again. Keep on going. And 3. And 3. If you realize you don't need to use your hands to help get across feel free to continue without using your hands. All right, that's 4. We're starting 5. If you realize you want to go a little bit harder, which you don't have to, you can stick with any version that you wanted so far. If you want to go a little harder, you can try and sit up a little straighter, a little taller, push your hands out in front of you to help counterbalance and keep going. And that's 5, maybe 6, and keep going across and back. And that's 7. At this point, if your knees are feeling a little achy, they're a little uncomfortable, you can always come up a little bit. All right, coming up is relative to wherever you are at. Once you're up, slide on across, and then slowly sink on down into a deep-ish position. All right, and we're going to come back up, across, and down. That's 8. Let's do one more. Up, across, down, and up, across, and down. That's 9. We got one last one. You can do any version that you've wanted to do so far. If you want to take it a little bit more chill, you can come slide up. You can just go from side to side up here the whole time. You don't have to keep on dropping down if you don't want to, if it doesn't feel good. And if you really want to, we're going to do some squats. All right, we're going to do one squat exactly on each leg. Come on down, sit deep into your squatting position. And if you feel like you can, come on up. Ooh, that's our 10th and final squat. All right, let's do our final leg. Come on down nice and slow with control. And breathe. And squat. Let's go. That is our Cossack switches, Cossack slided things, and a Cossack squat to wrap things up. We are done with our warm-ups. Hopefully, your ankles, your knees, your hips, your back, your, what else? Hamstrings. What else do we do? Everything else involved with your hip cars, everything is feeling a little bit looser, and you're starting to sweat a little bit because we're going to jump into our stretches now. All right. If you somehow don't know, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work, which means all the things that you just did, we're going to be doing stuff related to all those muscles over and over and over again for the next like 40 minutes. All right. So get ready. And we do this every single day to practice a little bit of consistency. We do this every single day to.
Someone asked a question on YouTube, said, I find it hard to keep my heels down when I'm doing that. How do you manage to keep your heels down?
How do I manage to keep my heels down? With practice and experience. If you are struggling with keeping your feet down in the Cossack switch, which is this position right here, it is absolutely okay. I would like you to work in the deepest range of motion you can while keeping your heels down, because that's going to actually be much more stable for you. When you're on your toes and you're trying to go back and forth, your ankle gets a little less stable. And if you get tired, it starts shaking and going back and forth. And that is going to just make it that much harder to get balanced and stabilize and go across from side to side. So I recommend you focus on whatever range of motion, whatever depth you can, while maintaining your heels on the ground. If that means you can't go as deep, that's okay. It's going to just make all of these other upper thigh muscles work harder. It's not like you're losing out entirely. It's just make different parts of your leg work a little harder than the others, right? Over time, as you keep on working this position, your ankles will get a little looser. You'll get a little bit more comfortable going deeper, and everything will be fine. So focus on staying balanced, staying in control first, because that's the most important. Cool? All right. We're going to move on into our first stretch. And I probably said something along the lines of, we do this every single day for like 45 to 60 minutes of side splits and hip mobility stuff. So you should hit follow, you should hit subscribe, and you should keep coming back. And once you've hit follow, once you've hit subscribe, we're ready to move on to our first stretch. All right. We're going to get into our hamstring stretch. What I want you to do is grab a little piece of padding for your knee. I got some gym flooring stuff I picked off of Amazon, and I have some other older stuff that I picked off of Costco years and years and years ago. What you use is not that important. All right. As long as you have a little padding, a little bit of cushioning for the knee is great. If you do gardening, you got a little gardening mat of some sort, perfect. Stick it on your knee. If you have a dog with some toys, it's ripped apart. Stick the stuffing back together, stick it under your knee, perfect. You got dirty laundry you're supposed to do last week, no worries. Roll up the dirty towel, stick it under your knee, you're ready to go. You got some flip-flops, maybe your dog chewed up one, you got one left over. Perfect, that's foam, stick it under your knee, and we're ready to continue, all right? Nothing fancy is needed. We are just getting a little bit of padding for our knees. And once you have that padding, we're going to get into a position that looks like this. I want you to kneel nice and straight and tall so that your hips are above your knees, your shoulders are above your hips. And what is this? Is this dog hair? Nope, that is coming out of my shorts. All right. And your head is above your shoulders. From here, we're going to extend one leg out in front, all right, while keeping this nice straight line this way. From here, we're going to fold. We're going to bring this belly button down towards our thighs, all right? I want you to take a big breath in. Inhale. And I want you to fold forward while you exhale. Woo! As soon as you get stuck, as soon as your hamstring muscle tells you, haha, no more, you can just chill there and you can breathe, all right? Inhale. Nice big inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop over that leg and just generally relax. If your back is rounding a little bit because you're chilling, great. No worries. Next, we're going to breathe again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop a little bit deeper into that stretch. When I say flop deeper into the stretch, I really mean it. We're not trying to use your muscles to pull your face into the ground or smash your head into the knee. We're trying to relax and let the muscles relax as well. All right, let's do it again. Inhale, exhale, relax. And that is 3 times. Hopefully, you were able to drop a little bit deeper into the stretch. Once you got your muscles to relax, we're going to add a little bit of movement now, all right? What I want you to do is bring your knee up so you're doing a nice lunge looking thing, all right? And I want you to try to fold your upper body down to that leg, like so. If you're not quite flexible enough to fold that far forward, that's okay. Just try your best to bring your whole entire upper body down onto that thigh. All right. From here, stick your hands down on the floor for a little bit of support for balancing and see if you can slowly straighten out that leg and feel a nice deep hamstring stretch. All right. This movement right here is helping us to practice the skill of folding forward and then reminding us of the hamstring stretch that we're eventually going to have if we keep trying to fold forward. That is 2. Keep on bending the knee. Bring the chest down towards that thigh. Straighten it out. I think this is 4. We're going to do one more. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 5. Each time you extend that leg and you feel that hamstring stretch building, that is what I want. That's good. All right. It might not be comfortable, but it's what we want. All right. Let's continue. From here, we're going to fold a little bit deeper. We're going to inhale, exhale, fold. On the inhale, I want you to take a huge breath into your lungs. On the exhale, I want you to slowly release all of that air that you took in. Nice and slow and controlled. All right. While you're exhaling, I want you to focus on folding at the same time. We're trying to bring the belly button down to the thigh. So we're actively trying to get down. All right. That's it. Inhale, exhale, fold. You ready? Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Remember, when I say focus on the belly button, I really mean it. I don't care if your chest is low. I don't care if your head is low. What we care about is the belly button. That's because we really, really, truly care about the angle of the hips folding forward. All right. Your back can bend all sorts of crazy directions, but if your belly button is not coming down towards the ground, all that bending is coming from your back. It's not coming from the folding part in the hamstring stretch. Cool? All right. Now that you've been here for way too long, inhale, relax. Let your body flop into the stretch. Again, inhale. Relax. Sink a little deeper into the stretch. 3rd time. Inhale. Exhale, relax. All right. Same as last time. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 1. Take a second. Feel that stretch when you extend the leg. You're feeling that hamstring stretch go wee and keep going. By this point, you might have noticed that you're able to fold a little bit deeper. You don't need to bring your knee up as high. If that's the case, feel free to bend less deep. That's 4. Last one, knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That is number 5. We're going to fold again. This is the last one, I promise. At least, on this leg. Inhale, exhale, fold. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Bring your belly button down. Woo. Oh man, inhale, relax. Let your body flop into the ground. Let's do it again. Inhale. Relax. That's 2. 3rd time, inhale. Relax. That is 3. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Let's do it one last time. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 1. Knee, chest, straighten. That's 2. Knee, chest, straighten. That's 3. Knee, chest, straighten. That's 4. Knee, chest, straighten. That's 5. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds. That's how we're wrapping up this leg. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Come on out of that stretch. Whew. Bend the knee a little bit. Oh, bring your knees underneath you. Come back into that kneeling position. Flex your glutes. Flex your abs. Help wake up these muscles that help to keep you kneeling nice and straight, up and tall. All right. And breathe. Oh, man. Whew, that was one leg. We got one other one to do. Let's go. Once you have been kneeling nice and straight, extend one leg out in front. Keep that nice strong posture. And let's begin to fold. Bring the belly button down to that side. All right. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Ooh, as soon as you get stuck, your body's telling you, no way, we're not going any further. Feel free to pause right there and breathe. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop over that leg. We're just relaxing. We're not trying to shove our face down right now. We're just trying to chill, trying to let our muscles relax. Let's do it again. Inhale. Relax. Whew. If you find yourself leaning a little deeper into the stretch when you relax into it, perfect. That's what we want. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Whew. That's 3 times. Now, it's time for us to knee bend, chest down, and straighten it out. Let's go. Knee, chest, straighten. Ooh. You might have noticed just now on that first one that your left leg, or maybe your other leg, does not stretch quite the same way as this one. That is very normal. All right. Just like how you have, one hand that's a little bit better at writing, a little bit better at doing things that require like hand-eye coordination. Like, maybe you only catch balls with your left hand or catch balls with your right hand, or maybe you only kick a soccer ball with your right leg or whatever. You're gonna have a favorite leg. That's completely normal. So if you find one leg's hamstring is way more stuck than the other, that is also normal. Cool. Now, once you have straightened out that leg for the 5th time, I'm pretty sure we did way more than 5, but I was trying to come up with an analogy, and we're ready to fold a little bit deeper. All right. Inhale, exhale, fold. Ready? Let's do this. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Bring that belly button down. We're actively trying to get the down. Fold. Always remember, yours does not have to look like mine. I've been doing this for hundreds of days. And if you're joining in for the first time, you shouldn't try to make yours look like mine anyway. All right? Inhale, relax. Let your body flop into that leg. But the instructions apply to everybody. I'm never saying, hey, only fold to this angle. We're just trying our best to fold. All right? Inhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. Stressing out will only make it worse. Inhale. Relax. Let your body flop into that leg. Ooh. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 1. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 2. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 3. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 4. Last one. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 5. Woo! It's time for us to fold a little bit deeper. All right, this is the last one, I promise. Inhale, exhale, relax. Inhale. Sorry, inhale, exhale, fold. Exhale, fold. Fold, 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 fold. Bring that belly button down to the ground. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop into that leg. Two more. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop into that leg again. Third time, inhale. Relax. If you have breathed too much, too fast, or hyperventilating, take your time. Chill. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's one. Knee, chest, straighten. That's two. Knee, chest, straighten. That's three. Knee, chest, straighten. That's four. Knee, chest, straighten. That's five. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds, and that's it. All right, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. If you want to just do the inhale, relax thing that we did, or just flopping our legs over our legs, that's great. Do that. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. If your knees are feeling a little achy, they're not enjoying this stretch, you can give that leg a slight bend. All right. When you bend it, it'll take some pressure off the knee, but it'll also take some pressure off your hamstrings. That is okay. Focus, if your leg is bent, focus on folding your whole entire upper body down to that thigh, just like how we were doing the knee up, chest down, straighten thing. And slowly see if you can straighten out that leg a little bit underneath you. All right. That will make it so that your knee discomfort isn't going to impact majority of your stretching time. All right. So it takes that out of the equation a little bit, and you get to do the stretch that you want to do. Anyways. All right. I feel like that was a long explanation. We're probably done with the stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're done with those. All right. If anybody tells you, by the way, because I just told you to bend your knees in the hamstring stretch, if anybody tells you that you can't do your hamstring stretch that way, ignore them. All right. All that's important is if you're feeling the hamstring stretch in your hamstrings, you're getting a hamstring stretch. All right. This could be a hamstring stretch for a lot of people. This is definitely a hamstring stretch for most people. And anywhere in between where you're straightening out that leg, as long as you're feeling the hamstring stretch, you're feeling the tension here, it's a hamstring stretch, it's okay. All right. So do whatever it takes to make it not awfully uncomfortable and do the best that you can. All right, let's continue. We're going to move on into our second stretch. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because my left knee is a little achy. And I have in the past seen comments like that on, I think it was like an Instagram comment. So don't worry about what's right, what's wrong. Just make sure you're feeling it in your hamstrings. And if you're feeling it in your hamstrings, it's probably still a hamstring stretch. All right, let's go. We're going to move on into our second stretch. We're going to do the butterfly. What I want you to do is move your butt, your low back, your shoulders, your head up against the wall. And I want you to bring your feet in towards your groin. All right. If you are in this position, we're ready to begin. First thing, I want you to try to bring your knees down into the ground so that you start feeling more intense of a stretch right here in the inner thighs, in the groin area. All right. I want you to do this with your own muscles if you can. Just like how we started this show, we're using our glutes, we're using our outer thighs. We're going to try and force ourselves into new positions using our own muscle power so that we build strength at the same time as building mobility. All right? If you do have absolutely no idea what muscles you're supposed to be contracting, just focus on two things. If you're feeling a more intense stretch in your inner thighs, if you saw your knees go down, you're doing great. All right? Next, we're going to take our hands. We're going to apply a little bit of pressure. We're going to push straight down and try to open up our legs a little bit more. We're going to hang out here for 30 seconds. We're going to breathe in and exhale nice and slow and deep. And every time you exhale, I want you to see if you can apply a little bit more pressure. If you're feeling a crazy amount of pain, if something sharp just stabbed you in the leg or something, that is a good chance or a good reason to stop. But if you're just feeling regular discomfort because we're stretching and stretching is not comfortable, then you're probably fine to keep going. All right, let's go. 30 seconds. Stand up nice and straight, or sit up nice and straight and tall. Push your legs down. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Push, push, push. See if you can get a little deeper. 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our butterfly stretch. Slowly come on out of it. Let the pressure on your wrists relax a little bit. Let your knees come up and out of that stretch position. Flap the wings of your butterfly. Flap your wrists just a little bit. Don't go crazy. Don't go whipping your hands around, shaking them out. Your wrists are typically pretty gentle, so give them some nice little gentle floppiness. And once your legs wake up, once your wrists are feeling a little looser, we're ready to move on into our third stretch. All right? The first stretch, our hamstring stretch, is super long because we got to prepare it for a bunch of the other stuff that we got. But the other stretches, they tend to be a little bit faster. All right, let's move on into our standing pancake. The third stretch, standing pancake, looks a little bit like this. We're going to open up our legs a little bit. Doesn't have to be crazy. All right. From here, we're going to fold forward. We're going to bring our belly button down towards the ground. We'll go wee, and here we are. That is our setup. All right. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. The goal is to get your upper body as close to horizontal as you can to start with so that you can feel gravity pulling all of this down into the ground. All right? To make this feel more intense, to make gravity make you suffer a little bit more, you can extend your arms up above your head so that your biceps are by your ears. And next time you exhale, and try to relax, see if that helps pull you a little bit deeper into your stretch. All right? That's the basics. If your balance is really not so good, you're struggling right now, feel free to grab a seat. All right. The reason why we do the standing pancake is because most of us are going to be a little less flexible, and standing is going to be the position where gravity gives us the most help. But if you have bad balance right now, for whatever reason, that's okay. We're going to use a seated variation, right? The higher the seat, the more help you're going to have from gravity. The lower the seat, the harder it is going to be to do. And we're opening up our legs just like before. We're folding forward. All right. Just like before, we're trying to aim to get this upper body close to horizontal so that gravity can pull us down. And that's it. That's the whole stretch. We're just letting gravity pull us down for 30 seconds. We're trying to fold a little bit deeper. All right. So pick your variation, pick your position, and let's get ready to potentially make it a little bit harder. One of the other reasons why we do the standing pancake is because gravity is pulling you down into the ground, right? And if you have control over your legs, because you're standing and not seated, you're going to control a whole bunch of variation in this stretch here in the inner thighs. And the wider you go, the more crazy it's going to feel. All right? How wide you want to go is completely up to you. It's optional, right? We started with the legs about this wide, nothing crazy. You can totally, absolutely stay right here. If you're looking for more of a challenge, you want to go a little wider, you want to go crazy, feel free to give it a shot, all right? Now, we're folding forward. We're opening up our legs however you want to open them. If you want, you can stick your butt back a little bit. When you do that, you counterbalance your hands a little bit, and it helps you fold a little bit deeper. All right, 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29. Keep on trying to bring your belly button to the floor. 28, 27, 26. Your version might look more like this. 24, 23, 22, 21. 20, experiment with grabbing your heels, grabbing the bottom of your legs, seeing if you can pull yourself a little closer into that stretch. Feel it in your hamstrings, maybe feel it in your calves, maybe feel it a little bit in your low back. Try to keep that back straight. Don't turn into a little ball. All right, straighten it out. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. That is our stretch. Put your hands down. Oh, catch your breath. Bring your legs in, bring your feet in underneath you. If you need some help, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes and your heels until your legs are underneath you. Walk your hands up your legs and waddle around a little bit. Oh, that is our pancake stretch. All right. Take a second, shake out your legs, shake out your arms, do a little dance, do a little wiggle, let the muscles relax. And we're going to move on into our fourth stretch. We're going to do the figure four stretch today. All right. Usually we have the option between the figure four or the pigeon. If you're a regular, feel free to jump into whichever one you like. But if you've never done it with me before, then I'm going to show you the figure four today live, and we'll do that together. All right. The figure four stretch looks a little bit like this. We're taking one leg, we're crossing it over to the other side. We're making this triangle right here with our legs. All right. We're going to grab that leg. We're going to pull it in towards our chest. And That's basically it. You're going to bring your chest forward towards that leg a little bit, maybe two. All right. You're going to feel a stretch here in the side of your hip. That is a glute muscle. You're going to feel a stretch here in the inside of that leg when it's rotated like this. That is your hamstring. And you're going to feel a little bit of something right here where you're folding at the hip. All right. Let's take it to the floor. Come on down. Lay down. My back just cracked laying down. That's crazy. All right. Well, anyways, moving on. We're taking one leg. We're crossing it over to the other side. We're making this nice triangle here in between our two legs. And we're going to reach one hand through the triangle, one hand around the outside. We're going to grab the knee. We're going to pull it in towards our chest. All right. That is basically the stretch. What I want you to focus on right now is making sure that you get deep before we start our 30-second count. I want you to pull this leg in. We're going to inhale, exhale, and then slowly pull the leg in a little bit for the first 3 breaths. All right, let's go. Big breath in, inhale. Exhale and pull that leg in. Whew. Let your head rest down on the floor. Let your shoulders rest on the floor if you can. And let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale and pull. That's 2. One more. Inhale. Exhale and pull. That's 3. All right. We're going to hold for 30 seconds, and that's it. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. If you're feeling some pressure in the knee right now, it's feeling a little uncomfortable, you can directly apply a little bit of pressure with your palm on the outside of the knee to pull it in towards your chest. You can potentially stick your knee into your elbow joint or inside of the elbow and pull on it a little bit more that way. Those both work to take some pressure off the knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. That's one side. Let's do the other one. We're crossing the leg over, making that triangle, sticking our hand through the triangle and around the outside of the leg. We're pulling it all in while we breathe. Inhale. Exhale and pull. Woo, feel that stretch in the outside of your hip in your glute muscle. Inhale, exhale again. Try to flatten your back, flatten your neck. Try to put your shoulders down on the ground as you pull your legs in towards you. And let's do another inhale. Exhale. Feel that stretch building in the side right here in your glute. And let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, relax. Oh, that is our 4th stretch we just did, our trigger 4. All right. Whew. If you somehow don't know, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we put ourselves through every single day a little bit more fun, a little easier to do. So if you like side splits, if you like hip mobility, if you want a little bit of help to practice consistency, I want you to know that we're here every single day starting at 9 p.m. doing exactly those 3 things: side splits, hip mobility, consistency. All right. And now that you know that, let's move on into our 5th and final stretch. All right, we're doing some side splits. We are doing some side splits. And before we jump into them, I want you to grab a little bit of stuff for support to make it a little bit easier on yourself. All right. The first thing I want you to grab is some hand support. The purpose of the hand support is to do this: give you something to hold on to while you let your legs go a little bit wider behind you. All right. This is a folding stool that I have, and it is nothing special. In fact, it's also cracked in a lot of places because I've had this thing through like 3 moves and for like 8 years probably at this point, and it's a little beat up. But all that's important is that it is still strong enough to support my weight. It is light enough for me to move it out of the way when I need it to move. And that is all the criteria we actually care about for your hand support. If you have a chair and you're like, wow, my chair is so high compared to your stool or whatever, don't worry about that, right? We're going to start here with our hands on our hand support. At some point, you might move down to your elbows on your hand support. And when your elbows are on your hand support, maybe you'll find that your hands can reach the floor anyway. You don't even need anything fancy anyway. All right? So, once you've found something that might work, we'll be ready to begin. But I'm going to throw other stuff at you until I'm done telling you about all the other things. Realistically, I'm just getting an excuse to slowly walk over to the stool that I actually want. It's just really far away. If you have yoga blocks, feel free to use that. All right? A stack of yoga blocks will be perfect. This will work, but you might have to be a little bit closer to the ground to make that actually useful for you. All right. What I'm going to use is this tool right here. It's about 9 inches off the ground and it's perfect for me. Your tool of choice does not have to be my tool of choice. This was just whatever random stuff I had at home before this live thing started, and I was like, perfect, it works. And now here we are. It's the main tool that I use. All right. Once you've grabbed your stool, you've learned way too much about random pieces of furniture that I have in my life. We are ready to get into our stretch. All right. If you have not yet grabbed something, a coffee table, an ottoman, anything that is kind of movable and sturdy enough to support your weight is going to be fine. I generally recommend something lighter so it's easier to scoot out of the way so that you can get out of an uncomfortable position a little bit easier. But all those other things I mentioned, they will work too. All right. Now, I want you to take your hand support. I want you to move your butt up to a wall. All right. I'm really far away from the camera for a reason, and that reason is the wall is your best friend in this stretch. It's going to support you. It's going to keep you from falling backwards. It's going to make sure that some of your weight is always leaning into the wall and not being held by your legs and putting you in a terribly stressful position. And we like all those things. All right. So butt up against the wall. Open up your legs a little wider. We're going to fold. We're going to bring the belly button down towards the ground like so. Cool. I want you to put your hand on your hand support. I want you to be folding forward, and I want you to just open up your legs a little bit wider. Your butt is still resting against the wall. Your legs do not have to be touching the wall. All right. If your feet come forward a little bit, perfect. That's great. So from here, we're going to rotate our legs. All right. We're going to rotate them backwards 90 degrees so that the heels are down, the toes are up, and the knees are pointing up. We're going to do that with both legs. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. Our inner thighs, this chunk, is facing forward. All right. The reason why we do this is because there's this lumpy part in your thigh bone that will smash into your hips if you just try to go wide while having your feet pointed that way. And once we rotate them, like so, heels down, toes up, knees up, that chunky part of your bone just kind of slides towards the backside of your butt and everything's fine. So now that you're here, we're going to slowly try to drop down on our hand support with our butt resting against the wall, letting our legs go a little bit wider. All right. We're all going to be at different levels. So you might be here, we might be there, you might be somewhere in between. The only thing that matters right now is that you find a spot where you're feeling almost comfortable. All right. When I say comfortable, I don't mean that you should feel absolutely no stress, but because we're in a side split. But what I want you to feel is like you could be here for a little bit. You can handle this. You're not feeling like the stretch is too intense in your legs. Your hands are supporting you underneath you. You're not about to slip. You're not about to tip over. You don't feel like you're leaning too far in one direction. Your butt is supporting you because the wall is there. All those things combined together, if you're feeling like you're in a stable spot, that is what we want. All right. From here, we're going to breathe. I want you to take a big breath in. Inhale. Hold that breath for a second and slowly exhale. On that exhale, see if you can rub down ever so slightly into a deeper stretch. We're going to do this a bunch of times, so don't worry if you didn't get that perfect, all right? Because I gave you instructions as you were doing them. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Let's do that again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. That's 3 times. We're going to do some optional wiggles, all right? Optional means optional. You don't have to do these. If you want, try to push your heel out to the right, push your heel out to the left and right and left and right and left. Just a couple of little nudges. See if you can get just a little bit deeper, and we're ready to start our first stretch. Right now, our toes are pointing up, our knees are pointing up, the top of our head is pointing up. We're going to hang out here for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, move your hand support out of the way. Crawl forward if you can. Bring your legs in underneath you, nice and slow with control. Don't flop into a mess on the floor. And that is our first side split stretch. All right. Right now, your leg muscles are probably real tense. Your butt's confused. Everything is going, what is going on? And what we're going to do next is undo as much of that as we can by shaking out our body. So come back into standing. We're going to start shaking out one ankle at a time. All right. I want you to flop the ankle forward and back, side to side, 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 and let your ankle relax. Flop around. Enjoy. All right. The reason why we're doing this is because if your muscles are super tense, which is what we don't want, then it would probably be really hard for your ankles to flop around. When your ankles are going all over the place, chances are the muscles are relaxed, and that is what we want. So this is just a visual check. Once you feel and understand what relaxed is supposed to feel like, you'll be able to just shake around a couple of seconds. You won't have to look at your leg. You'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm cool. We're ready to move on. And that's what we want. I want you to learn the difference between a relaxed muscle, a tense muscle, and I want you to be able to get into a more relaxed state whenever you need to so that you can chill and recover from whatever it is you just did. All right, let's wrap that up. If your legs are working okay, you'll know by taking a couple of steps. If you're able to sneak around on your tippy toes, if you're able to do some dance moves, you're probably good. All right, we're gonna move on into our hips. All of your weight is in one leg, big toe is down like this. We want to point this knee directly that way. And I want you to work these inner thigh muscles. I want you to bring your knees together by rotating this leg. All right. The only thing that has to move is this thigh bone where it connects into your hip socket. We're going to use muscles in the front of your hip. We're going to use some muscles sort of in your glutes to help pull the leg open and bring the leg in. Out and in and out and in and out and in. If you're new to the show, focus on building control, building range of motion. Really contract that glute, point that leg out as far back as you can, and then do the opposite. Bring your knees together, clench these muscles here, right here in the hip, and once you've done a couple of those, you built up some strength, built up some control. You can go a little faster. You can turn into some dance moves. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and let's switch over to the other side. All your weight is one leg, big toe is down. We're going for control, power, precision on that first couple of reps. And if you're new to the show, you don't have that control, power, precision just yet, feel free to stick with the slower, more intense contractions to try and build up that strength. All right. When you've done a bunch of these, you're starting to move a little smoother, a little more relaxed, turning into some jazzy dance moves. Then relax, have fun, shake it out, shake, 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 and whew, I think that's enough. Let's get into side split number 2. We're going to take our hand support. We're going to bring our legs up to the wall, our butt up to the wall, and we're taking the hand support with us. All right. I'm going to go a little faster starting now because you know all the things that you need to know. And now it's just reminders of what we're doing. Okay. So, butt up against the wall, open up those legs, fold on down, hands on hand support. Whee! All right. Open up those legs a little bit wider. Doesn't have to be crazy wide yet, but we're preparing to rotate the legs. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up so that the inner thigh is pointing forward. Same thing on the other side. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up, inner thigh pointing forward. Let your butt slide down the wall. Adjust your hand support so that your hands are really close to your hips. And let your legs go a little bit wider. Find a position where you're not leaning too far forward, you're not leaning too far backwards, you're feeling like you're slipping, you don't feel like you're about to tip over, you feel like you're in control. And we're going to breathe. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. See if you can sink a little bit deeper on that exhale. If you're not sinking on the exhale, don't worry about it. If you get stressed out, you're not going to sink on the next one either, all right? Relax. Inhale. Hold. Hold. Exhale, sigh, relax. That's two. Sink a little deeper. Inhale. Hold. Hold, hold, exhale, relax. Sink a little bit deeper. That's our third go around. All right. If you've sunken deeper, you've moved around and you're feeling a little bit off balance, now adjust your butt, adjust your hand support, adjust your legs until you find a nice, comfortable spot to stay in. All right. We don't want you feeling like you're off balance. We don't want you to feel like you're tipping over because that's going to get your muscles to start contracting to save you from tipping over, and then you won't be relaxing into your stretch. Ready? We're going to do some optional wiggles to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Again, optional. Next, we're ready. Second side split. I want you to lean forward a little bit so that you're feeling more of the stretch in your inner thighs. Right now, your knees, your toes, they might be pointing up at a diagonal at like 45-ish degrees if that's what you're doing. Perfect. Again, we're feeling it in the inner thighs. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. You can use your hand support. I just try to make sure you can see my knees and my legs in the positions I keep talking about without it being blocked by the stool. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, give rid of your hand support. Ugh, crawl forward a little bit. Let your legs come in underneath you with control and kneel. Squat. Find some sort of relaxing position. Breathe. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. There's absolutely no problem with that. I can't hear you anyway. All right, that's our second side split. When you're ready, we're going to come back into standing. We're going to shake out the tension again and get ready for our third side split. All right? I want you to come up into standing. I want you to shake out your ankles. Part of the reason why we include this every single time is because you do need to take a break in between your intense stretches. All right? It's not going to be very useful if you go second split, breathe for 10 seconds, and jump into the third split. So we got to take the break anyway. So we're going to shake out the tension. We're going to try and relax as much as possible so that our body is as chill as possible for our next attempt. All right. So shake out those ankles. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. And shake some more. Wiggle some more. Flop some more. Make sure your legs are both working. Do some dance moves. Shake those hips. And let's move on into our hips. All right. All your weight is on one leg. Big toe is down. Knee in, knee out, 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 knee in, knee out. Whew. Shake it out. And let's switch to the side. In and out and 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 in and out. Whew. Give it a good shake. Make sure everything's relaxed. Flop around. Wiggle everything. Your arms are suffering too because they're, holding up part of your body. So shake it out. And let's get ready to do third and final side split. Whew. Take your hand support, bring it up to the wall with you. Butt up against the wall. Open up those legs. Get ready to fold. Belly button down. Hands on your hand support. Whee! Fold. Open up those legs a little bit. Adjust your hand support. Your butt is resting against the wall. And now we're going to rotate our legs. Heels are down. Toes are up. Knees are pointing up. Butt is sliding down the wall. Hands are adjusting and trying to find a new spot where you feel in control. You feel like you're not about to tip over, where you feel like your balance is not being super incredibly awfully challenged, and you can almost just hang out here for a little bit. That's what we want. Just find a nice spot to chill. All right, and now we're gonna breathe. Inhale, hold, exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch if you can. Let's do it again. Inhale, hold, hold, exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Let's do it again. Third time. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Optional wiggles. Little twitch to the right, twitch to the left, heels pushing out. And once you can't go any further, we're ready to go for side split number 3. You got options. You can do the first version where our toes or knees are pointing straight up and our head is pointing straight up. You can do the second version where you're focusing more on the inner thighs by leaning forward a little bit more. I'm going to do a version of the second. We're holding for 30 seconds. Get into position. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. All right, put your hands down. If you're not already down, crawl forward, bring your legs in underneath you. That is our third and final side split. We are done with all the hard stuff for today. Now all we got left is to shake out the tension, relax, help reset our body so we can go back to whatever else you got to do for the rest of the day. All right? Come on back into standing. Grunt, grunt, make as many sound effects as you need to. Take another breath. And let's shake it out. Shake out your ankles. Nice and slow and gentle to start. And pick up the intensity as you feel it's comfortable for you. Remember, the goal is to relax the muscles. If you're shaking, you're flopping, you're just getting loose and flopping all over the place like a used car dealership thing where they have the, I never know what those things are called, where you got this thing that goes, well, that thing. That's the goal. You want to be floppy like you're made out of a sheet of plastic and a whole bunch of fans. All right. Next, once your legs are feeling a little looser, they're moving a little bit better. We're gonna shake out our hips. What are we doing? All your weight is on one leg. Big toe is down. Knee in, knee out, knee in, knee out, knee in, knee out. Remember, the goal now is just relaxation. We did some of that precise technique, strength building stuff. Now I just want to chill so you can go back to doing whatever else you gotta do for the rest of the day. All right. So you can shake a little more. You can be a little bit more crazy and have fun with it. If balance is not your strong suit, feel free to hold on to something for support while you shake out your legs, while you do all this crazy movement. All right. And if balance is really a struggle for you, you don't have to shake so aggressively. You don't have to flop so aggressively. You can be a little bit more gentle with it. Cool. All right. Whew. I think we're about ready to wrap up with our hip circles and our crazy calf raises. All right. Those are the last two things. That's all we got left. Hip circles look a little bit like this. I want you to really lean into that hip. I want you to slowly come on around. Woo-hoo. Feel the tension in the sides. Ugh. That's where I feel it after the side splits. If you feel it somewhere different, let me know. But I also feel in the low back a little bit. Ugh. And then when I go out of my way to stick my hips forward, I feel a nice stretch here in the front of my hip. My hip just popped and cracked. That didn't sound the best, but also didn't hurt, so I think it's probably fine. For the most part, if you're making crackly sounds, if it doesn't hurt, usually it's fine. You can just keep on going. But if your joints are cracking and making crazy sounds and they hurt, you might want to go get that checked out. All right. Whew. All right. Once you've done a couple in one direction, see if you can come back around the other way. And when you're feeling looser, you're feeling a little smoother, feel free to come on out of it. We're going to move on into our calf raises to wrap things up. I want you to bring your legs into this sort of stance. All right. I want your legs about hips width apart. Not super wide, not super narrow, about hips width apart. If it's a little tiny bit wider, that's fine too. All right. We're going to pop into a bit of a squat. From this squat, we're going to do some calf raises. But we're going to try and challenge as many muscles and joints as we can along the way to make it a super powerful exercise. All right. So what I want you to do is pop into that squat. I want you to lean your chest really far forward so that you almost feel like you're going to tip over. All right. And then to make things worse, we're going to try and push our knees forward as well. When you do this, you should be feeling a stretch here in your Achilles tendon, in your calves. You should be feeling your toes get really nervous and clenching down in the ground to keep you from tipping over. And we want both those things. So from here, we're going to do some calf raises. Put your hands down for support. If you need it, hold on to a wall for balance. Use your hand support for balance, whatever it is that you need. And let's go, calf raise. Lift those heels up as high as you can. Focus your weight between your big toe and your index toe, and then slowly come down. Once you've come down, reset. Push those knees forward. Feel that stretch in the Achilles tendon. Come back up. That's 2. Reset and up and down. Reset and up and down. Reset, up and down. Reset. Once your legs, your calves are completely fried, you're like, no more, I can't hold this. Feel free to stop. All right. What we just did was a supercharged version of calf raises where we kind of combined it with squats and all sorts of things. All right. When we were leaning super far forward, when we had all of that center of gravity shifted forward in front of us, the only thing that could keep us from tipping over was our toes clenching into the ground. All right. So we got our toes to work really hard. When your toes are working that hard to try to keep you supported, the arch of your foot is also going to kick in to try and keep you from flopping forward. So we got the feet working real hard. Then we were in that Achilles tendon stretch, right? Because we were bringing the knees forward. And that deep stretch for our ankles, we did our calf raise, working our calf muscles in a stretch position and all the way up into full contraction. Our quads were hanging out here in that like half squat position the whole time, so they were complaining and really unhappy with us. Our low back was keeping us leaning forward like this, so our low back was also unhappy and holding us up for that whole entire time as well. So if you're able to do those movements, chances are you're probably in a good spot and you don't need anything else. You can go back to doing whatever else you have to do because we just challenged all of the muscles in our lower body, all the joints in our lower body, all at the same time. And I hope your calves are feeling fried because those calf raises are supposed to be hard. All right, let's go. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in, practicing a little bit of consistency, working on your side splits and your hip mobility today. I hope you had fun. I hope you're starting to cool off a little bit, hoping you're starting to relax. And I hope you had enough fun because I want you to come back. All right. We do the show every single day starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, which means we started about an hour and 10 minutes ago. I think I tried to be extra funny or something this time. I must have talked a lot more than usual because I'm running a little tiny bit longer than I was expecting. Yesterday, we wrapped in just about an hour and like 1 minute. Today was an hour and like 10. And then I'm usually somewhere in between hour and a 5 and hour and 6, at least recently. A couple of months ago, I was stuck in like an hour 20 often, but I'm trying to clean it up, all right? I'm trying to get it nice and concise. We get through the exercises, have a little bit of fun along the way, and then you can go back to doing whatever else you have to do for the rest of the day. So just set an expectation so you know what to expect when you come back. All right. Lois says, "Thanks, Ken. I was late." Hey, no worries. Thank you for being here and thank you for jumping in, hanging out, doing the exercises anyway. All right. Travel with Roxy says, "Love the jokes." Great. Because sometimes I recycle them, so you'll hear them a lot. But other times I come up with brand new ones and I go, I should have tested this with somebody before I said this aloud because, I'm trying to be spontaneous and fun. And then I go, oof, regrets. And then I move on because I don't have a good tangent for how to transition from that joke to the next thing that we got to do because I've never practiced it before. So you get to be here for all of that. All right. I'm going to take a look at the chat in just a second. I got one last thing to tell you. Most of the content I make is not about side splits. It's not necessarily about hip mobility either. Most of it is just trying to make you like moving around a little bit more, right? Movement doesn't have to be exercise all the time. If you're just doing something crazy, like shaking out your body, wiggling your shoulders, wiggling your hips, doing some dance components of salsa, just practicing going pop, 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 pop. Those are all things that are really good for your body. All right. And if you integrate a whole bunch more things that look a little dancey, look a little bit more fun into your life, one, you'll probably be happier. And two, your joints will appreciate you for it. All right. Your joints operate on a system called synovial fluid for recovery. It's not like your muscles where you got blood pumping into them to feed them nutrients, give them oxygen and all that good stuff. Your joints don't really have that. They have a system called synovial fluid, and basically it's some goop in your joints that moves around only when you move, when you use your joints. So when you can, try to use them. All right. It doesn't have to be exercises every single time. Just a little bit of wiggling, a little bit of shaking, a couple of body rolls, doing some stanky leg, having some fun, just looking to the left, looking to the right, doing some, whatever goes a long way. So don't lose the fun part of moving, right? A lot of the times exercise is like so serious. You're like, all right, we have to do 8 reps of this, and then we have to do 3 sets, and we have to rest for 2 minutes in between, and it's so strict. There's a time and a place for all that stuff. Strength training is very valuable. Don't, that's not what I'm saying is bad. What I'm saying is if you start incorporating a little bit of fun movement and enjoying movement for the sake of moving, it's going to be much easier for you to get a lot of movement. When you love moving, it's going to give you extra inspiration to train for all the things that you can now do because you love moving. And you're like, oh, hey, guess what? I just learned this cool new thing that I can kind of do. If I trained a little bit, built up some strength here, maybe I'd be able to do, a handstand even better or whatever it is that you care about. So have fun, enjoy what you're doing, and when you can, do a little dancing. All right, it's good for you. That hopefully covers the majority of what my content typically is about. Just trying to make it a little bit fun. All right, I'm looking at the chat now. Let's see. Jacques is back over on YouTube. Says hello, Coach. Good evening. I just had McDonald's. Hey, that's okay. Welcome back. If you gotta have McDonald's, that's totally fine. All right. Just when you can, try to add in some fruits, some veggies, some other stuff so that you don't have to eat as much McDonald's, and that'll be great. Let's see. What else? Queen RR says the sound effects. What sound effects? Am I making sound effects? Because I do make sound effects. Semray Ildiz says, what is this? I answered that during the live, so good, good, good. Now I know when that came in. Queen R is answering questions for me while I'm going. And Mitzi Blue asked a question about how do you keep the heels down during the Cossack switch? And I answered that on the live. Basically, I said focus on keeping your heels down and moving with stability and control, having your heel down, having your whole foot down when you're doing the Cossack switch. Since I'm talking about it, I might as well demonstrate. When we're doing this movement, having your whole foot down is going to be much easier for you to keep your balance and have control. You can absolutely do them like this, right, with your heel off the ground. But because your heel is off the ground, there's going to be a lot more instability in the ankle joint, in the muscles around the foot, and it's going to make it a little bit harder. We don't need necessarily all of that difficulty for our workout, right? We're not trying to be super explosive. We're not training for athleticism in this particular training. We're just trying to build some strength and some range of motion at the same time. And if you focus on having control, having stability, it will keep you feeling safer. It will keep you from getting into situations where your knees are shaking and going, I can't hold this. And the safer you are when you're doing these movements, the easier it's going to be to make progress, right? To keep you not getting injured. Cool. Mitzi says, I'm using a cooler. Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's about the right size. Great idea. Thank you for letting me know. All right. What else we got? Queen Heart says, what did you have? I used to love their cheeseburgers. Sounds like Queen R is trying to live vicariously through your McDonald's experience. Jack says, hey, Queen, haven't had McDonald's for so long, but I gotta have cheeseburger, of course, and fried chicken. Amazing. Very good. Oh, fried chicken. I love fried chicken. I'll literally go everywhere and find fried chicken. I'll go to Asian countries and be like, I want fried chicken. All right, let's see what else we got. Travelers actually says, love the jokes and sound effects. Amazing. Good. Because I do a lot of those. Like my whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't actually, no, I didn't do whoa, whoa, whoa today. What do I do? What do I do when I make this sound? I can't remember my wiggle sound. Okay, whatever. We're going to move on. Mitzi Blue sends a thumbs up over on YouTube. Awesome. Suri, welcome back. It's good to see you. Thank you for sending all the little gifts. I appreciate it. Tulips and winks and claps and wind veins. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Che, of course, as well. Sending roses. I appreciate it, everybody. Thank you so much. Suri says, what's poppin'? We just wrapped up the live. Che says, all this in and out is making me hungry. Lol. That's hilarious. We got in and out, which oftentimes feels like an in and out burger joke. And now we got burgers happening on both chats. That's crazy. All right. What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? Che says, that's a bigger one. I just noticed low and it's blue. Yes. You haven't noticed this before? I take it out, I think, at least two or three times a week the last couple of weeks. And usually I have like this weird interaction where I stack it on top of the black one and then I try to take it away. And then because the thing folds together, it kind of like clamps down on the black one and it just gets into a mess. And I do it every time and I forget every time, and it's a shame because I make that interaction totally not smooth, and it's my own stuff. It's not even like this is not my home. I'm messing around with stuff because it's not mine and I'm confused. It's like literally have had this stool for years and years and years, and I've seen this interaction with stacking the stools over and over and over again because of this live, and I can't remember that doing that causes that problem, and I shouldn't do it, and I do it anyway. Anyways, Jack says it feels so wrong to talk about fast food in a stream about workouts. No, 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 no. If your goal was to get the lightest possible weight possible in the shortest amount of time, I mean, sure, like don't eat fast food. But realistically, to be a modern human being, to enjoy time with friends, you're gonna eat fast food, right? Like that's don't feel guilty, don't feel bad, and instead, if you want to, choose to add the really good nutritious stuff in first, and then if you're still hungry, have some fast food, right? Like you don't have to eliminate anything. Having a lot of things that are very, very calorie dense, delicious usually, but potentially challenging for your fitness and appearance goals, that can be a pain in the butt. So if that's like your first priority, then maybe you should avoid fast food. But for most people, if you control the amount that you have, you focus on having more of the fruits, the veggies, less processed foods in general. That if that takes like 80% of your total food and you sprinkle in 20% fast food, that'll be fine. All right? Don't worry about it. And don't beat yourself up about it because that's just gonna make you feel miserable. We don't want you to feel miserable. We want you to love working out. We want you to love moving. We want you to love doing cool things with your body and building skills. And who cares if you have a little bit of fast food? It's not a big deal. It's just delicious. All right. All right. Let me keep scrolling. Let's see what else we got. Oh, wow. The chat's looking quiet. MJ says, find one flexible, and I don't know how you're in this position. I'm not sure I got what the sentence means, but find one flexible, and I don't know how you're in this position. Um, if you're still on, MJ, let me know what position we were in when this chat. It was a hamstring stretch? Oh. Oh, it was super early. Okay, huh. Find one flexible, and I don't know how you're in this position. All right. I will make a mental note to try and explain it a little smoother for tomorrow's live. But it looks a little like this from the front. All right. I usually demonstrate it on the side because it's easier to see the legs. But what we're basically doing is having one leg straight down, right? We're standing nice and tall in a lunge position. Then we're extending one leg out in front of us, like so. All right. From the side, that exact position looks like this. And what we're doing is folding forward like that. And from the front, looks a little bit like this. All right. That's basically the setup. All we have from the rest of that stretch, for the rest of that stretch, is trying our best to let the muscles relax, moving a little bit so that they don't get so tense, and trying to see if we can get them to relax into something a little bit deeper, a little crazier, and get closer to the floor. All right. The instructions that I give usually are something like inhale, exhale, breathe, relax, let your body flop over that leg. Try to relax as many muscles as possible. And that's because we're all going to be at slightly different levels of, doing that forward fold, that hamstring stretch. And when you've been doing it for long enough, eventually, I guess your body will be like, okay, okay, fine, just fold already, jeez, and hopefully you'll take it. You'll be like, yay, goal achieved, success. All right, I'm gonna keep scrolling. Hopefully that was a little bit more clarity on that hamstring stretch. Jerica asks, is this good for lower back? Most of our stretches don't do that much for the lower back, and some of them might actively be not so good for the lower back if it causes you discomfort. Our hamstring stretch, there's a lot of back rounding when we're relaxing. If you just had a fresh low back injury, that back rounding might be really uncomfortable for you. If your back is like, relatively normally healthy, it might not have any like negative sort of feelings, but it really depends on the state of your low back. But we're not actively training the low back in any of these. I don't think. Let me. No, I don't think we're doing any particular exercises for making the low back stronger. So is it good for the low back? Not necessarily. No. Scrolling up. Lizzie says epic. I don't know what you're saying epic about, but if the other person was asking about hamstrings, you were talking about our warm ups. So thank you for enjoying our warm ups. Jay says hello. We got a whole bunch of people wishing the evening hip mobility family good vibes. True Blue. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm gonna scroll all the way down and see what else we got. Anu says, "Sup, dude? Always see you stretching here. Neat. Can you believe it's almost August? What you doing this weekend?" What am I doing this weekend? I'm not sure. I don't have any plans. I plan to be here at 9 a.m. and I plan to be here at 9 p.m. stretching. That's what I know for sure. I can't think of anything else at the moment. Last weekend was World Cup. Hang out with friends. This weekend, I can't think of anything. So, but thank you for coming back and asking about my weekend plans. I hope you know that we do live side split stretching every single day, and that it's 7 days a week. And you should absolutely keep coming back because it's the same time every single day. And now that you've been here, you know exactly what time we got to start. All right, all right. Travel with Rocky says, "I can't believe it's almost August." Yeah, yeah, I know, I know, I know. Don't think about it. Time is passing so fast. Show me doggo. Benji, come. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna hang out while I'm doing the live stream. You're like, what? What are you talking about? We don't do that during the live stream, right? Right? Benji, people want to see you on the camera, but if you're over here, we're too close to the camera for people to see you because you're on the floor. Come. Wait. Okay. He's confused. He's like, what's going on? This isn't normal. This isn't usually allowed. During the live stream, usually I ignore him, and he has learned that it's not time where we hang out, and so he's like super obedient, and so now he's really confused. Benji, why are you looking so sad? Okay. So this is Benji. He is very confused and he wants pets. So that's why he's looking at me. He's like, when are you gonna pet me? And he likes to put his head down when I pet the back of his head. So this is why he's got this little depressed look. Right, dog? Right, dog? Alright. It's the I'm too far away from the chat now. I'm squinting really hard trying to be able to see. Says show me doggo. Something from Brunei. And no, it's fine. I'll just scoot closer because I have Benji on my lap. Ugh. Yeah, he is much harder to scoot without disturbing the dog as much. Oh, okay. Oren says, hello, 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 hello. Oh, so mean is no, right? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm so confused. Anu says, do you teach your parents stretch? Dude, I'm super sweaty. Why are you licking my arm? uh, is no, right? I don't know. I don't think we're friends just because you're on my live because I have no idea who you are. I can't promise that kind of friendship right away. What do you think is happening here? And says, do you teach your parents stretches too? Sometimes. My mom is super flexible. She never stretches, and she's more flexible than me. And so I don't know how that works. I think I got my dad's genes. My dad is like super, 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 super stiff, and he realistically these days he trains more than I do, and somehow he's way less flexible than pretty much anybody I know, I think. And so I think I got my dad's genes in this department. And so I've been working on these side splits. This live has been running for hundreds of days, like 500 days. I started pretty high up, and now I'm much closer to the ground than before, but it's taken a long time to get here. All right. Benji is about to turn 10. Hello, Benji. What are you doing? Why are you doing this on my leg? You okay? Ah, don't lick me. Not my nose. I know I'm sweaty. I taste like salt. Um, oh, I think he's ready to jump off. Okay, goodbye, Benji. You can go. All right. What else we got? Jack asked, "Do I ever have weight insecurities?" No, not really. And part of that is because I've never really had a whole bunch of extra weight on me, and so I don't really have that experience. And that's not really something I can speak on from personal experience. And I would imagine that a lot of fitness people actually have that happening, right? A lot of fitness people have been fit and have been doing sports, have been doing something for a really, really, really long time since they were kids, and they stay relatively lean for a very, very, very long time as long as they're doing stuff. And my brother, however, on the other hand, had a lot of weight insecurity. He was a little bit chubs when we were growing up, and that has had a significant impact on him for a long time. There was a moment when he was in high school where he was really not eating, and it was probably not good for him. And then a lot of his training now is a little bit intense, possibly because he uh, doesn't ever think that he's lean enough. Um, so I have seen it from sort of a third person perspective, and so I'm not unfamiliar with it, but I have not personally had weight insecurities to answer your question. Cool. Anu says, what keeps you going to do the stretches on live every day? Like, what motivates you? Well, there's two things. One of them is I want to do the side splits for like 15 years. All right. And at this point, it's probably 16 years. I started the series saying that it was 15 years, but at this point, it's like 16 years. And I would start every single year saying like my New Year's resolution, I'm gonna be able to do the side splits this year. And I would spend 5, 10 hours watching all sorts of training videos, building my own custom Frankenstein plan for working on the side splits. I'd rewatch videos over and over again every single year. And I do like a week of workouts, maybe two, but by the end of like January, I'd have completely stopped, and then come like midway through the year, I'd be like, oh shoot, it's halfway through the year, I got to get back on it. I'd freak out for another week. I'd do a couple more exercises, a couple more days of workouts, and then I'd drop off again, and then it'd be the new year, and I'd be like, well, it's so close to the new year, I'll just start again in January, right? So I did that probably twice a year, maybe 3 times a year for like 15 years, which means something like starting and stopping 30 to 45 times, something like that, right? And I never really made any progress in the side splits because you need a certain level of consistency. And like I just told you, I would stay on for like a week and then I'd drop off and then I'd not do it again for like 6 more months. So at some point, I was like, this is a damn shame that I can't be consistent about this thing that I've said is important to me for 15 years. And I decided that I would have to find a way to do this a lot and just do whatever it takes to build that consistency. And that came out as I'm telling everybody I'm doing this live. I'm inviting everybody to join me to do this live so that I can stay accountable and then I can, take all of this YouTube knowledge and apply it and make it useful for more than just me. And now that I've done it a whole bunch every single day, I feel like people are here. We're working on side splits together. And there's all sorts of reason to care about, sure, the side splits, the hip mobility, but there's also a bunch of reason to care about the consistency, right? Consistency is probably the most important sort of skill or approach to doing something, learning something, developing something that you can have. Most of the things that you want to achieve or want to be able to do come after a whole bunch of consistency, right? There's very few things that you can learn in one day and be like, damn, that was so awesome and so worth it. Because, everybody has that skill after one day. So part of the goal originally was to give myself something to work towards, to give myself something to achieve, and I just haven't stopped since. Now, because there's still 25 of you on TikTok, 4 on YouTube. There's still 30 of people listening to me ramble after an hour and a half of suffering and stretching. It's turned into like a little community of sorts, and I would love to be able to monetize this experience in some way. Not that we're gonna charge money for the live, but to turn the content creation experience here into something that I can do more. and to help people build consistency, to help people feel confident in moving, in dancing, in trying new things, in learning new skills, in being proud of the fact that they're able to do stuff with their bodies, right? Because I think that it's the foundational skill, right? Consistency is like the foundational skill, but the proof is when you're actually able to do different things, when you're able to do cool stuff, right? When you're feeling proud of what you've accomplished because you've earned it and you literally are the proof of you working really hard towards something. That is some I almost said aspirin, awesome
Inspiration.
aspirational. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. What words am I trying to use? That that the goal is to make it so that we help a lot of people fall in love with movement, move better than they ever have, and just go do cool things because they truly deep down believe that they're able to do anything that they want because they're carrying the proof that they're able to do cool, awesome things with consistency, with practice, with their physical existence. And I don't know, that's the gist of it at the moment. When there's more, I'll let you know. But you have to ask me the question again because I assume the answer will change over time. Um, Let's see. We had a question come in while we are doing. Alex says, "You're awesome, Ken." Thanks. I appreciate it, man. Alec, sorry. I called you Alex. Alec has been here for a long time, has been doing the live with me for has it been a year yet? I feel like we're getting pretty close. We were in Asia last year, so I think you've been on the live pretty consistently for at least a year. Isn't that crazy? Time has passed so fast. All right, sorry. Anu had some more comments. Let me read this. Do you experience any emotional release or just any emotions when you do impactful mobility? Um, I don't think so. Most of the time that I'm doing the mobility work is with you guys on the live, right? This live is already running 90, 95-ish minutes, right? Um, I'm not really doing any additional mobility outside of this. Like, if this runs regularly throughout the week and we're hitting about an hour and a half, I'm already doing 9, 10 hours worth of stretching right here on the live. Um, Occasionally I do a little bit just because something is a little achy, a little uncomfortable, so I do a little bit. But for the most part, because I'm on the live doing this show, there is not that much time for me to be having emotional epiphanies during my stretch because I'm busy giving instructions and counting. So to your answer, no, I don't think I'm having anything else happen. I just I'm having fun. Anu says doing a really cool stretch in my vinyasa flow has felt not life but week changing. No way, that's awesome. I'm glad you're liking the yoga experience and finding. I mean, I hope you have an awesome instructor. It sounds like you have an awesome instructor, and the experience together is fantastic. Because if it can change your week, that is long-lasting impact. That's incredible. Anu says, so I definitely feel like mobility impacts the mind-body connection somehow. Maybe doing splits will make me the last airbender. That would be sick. However, if anybody learning the splits could turn them into the last airbender, that would be magical. You know, if you could attain spiritual magic powers, that nobody would not be able to do the splits, right? Like that'd be like the first skill you learn as a child. If you could just start like basically flying at will, oh man, that would be so sick. What do you think the positions would be for the other types of benders? Like, what would a fire bender have to do? What would an earth bender have to do? What would a water bender have to do? And then what is that like the more rare, funky types? Like, what would the swamp bender have to do? What would the sand benders have to do to unlock all of their skills? Do you think it'd be, never mind. We don't have to go down this tangent. This is gonna go crazy. We're gonna be here for like 3 more hours talking like Avatar lore. All right. Jack says, will you be considering opening a studio or a gym? Sorry, Mitzi Blue. I'm just making up names now. What the heck? Mitzi Blue says, so the live stream gives accountability. Yes, for me, it's a lot about accountability. It gives me a whole bunch of reason to show up. I'm a people pleaser, all right? So when I know other people are here because I told them to be here, and if I don't show up, I'm gonna feel really bad. So that's my form of accountability. And I knew that from the get-go. I knew that if somebody else was gonna come on and we're gonna practice consistency together, then I was gonna show up for it. All right. I feel really bad ditching them. And so that yes, this live in some form is accountability for me, absolutely. And hopefully, if you want to make it a source of accountability for you, let me know because I could do that. If you wanted to, I can go to the live at the end of every live. I can go take a list down of all the people who commented, and I can take that as attendance if you want. And you just showed up on this date, and I'll make like a Google sheet or something, and we can just tick off names if you want. Totally, totally optional. But if that's something you're interested in, I can absolutely do that. Cool. Um, Mitzi Blue says, "So wise, Zen Master. Thank you. I don't know what I was saying, but I am glad you thought I was wise because it's good." Okay. Jack says, "Will you be considering opening a gym or a studio?" Um, I don't know if I'm interested in having a physical location and being responsible for the well-being of a whole bunch of other people in said studio or gym, because I would imagine that there's no way I could run the whole thing by myself. And I don't know if that is how I would like to spend the next couple of years. I would love to have a gym because I'd like to work in a sick gym, right? Like I'd love to be able to go exercise and do cool things. I'd love to do like Ninja Warrior practicing and like start climbing things and jumping all over the place and doing precision jumps and like doing all sorts of crazy stuff. That would be awesome. But whether or not that has to turn into a public gym that people have access to, that I have to like monitor and take care of and have like a full on experience as other people use this space, that I'm not so sure about. It would be cool, but I think I'm probably thinking of it being cool in the same way that, like it'd be cool if I could fly planes, but also I have to do like hundreds of hours of like flight school and like all this other stuff in order to be able to do it, right? Like do I want it because it'd be cool to have this crazy cool space where I can do all sorts of fitness and gym stuff, or do I want it because it'll actually financially make sense to have a gym and I have to make sure people are paying to enter the building so that I can maintain this space and not just have it be a giant money sink. Those are two different things. I would love to have a space that I can do crazy, jumpy, flippy, all sorts of crazy physical things, have other people come and join me, do workshops, that type of environment. But I don't know if it would take the form of a regular sort of gym that people would be able to just pop in and do some exercising. Because that sounds like a lot of maintenance for my personal hobby that I don't need to share with everybody else. All right, let's see what else we got. What else we got? Mitzi, I know, right? When we could all go to McDonald's. Just kidding. That's funny. Queen R says maybe traveling workshops like a mobility tour. That does sound awesome. A mobility workshop world tour would be really fun. So I'd totally be interested in doing that. I don't know if we have enough demand to make that worthwhile. I feel like if I try to fly to like one other city nearby, it'd be like $300. So we need a whole bunch of people to show up before I rented the space, put together the workshop, try to coordinate something. And so I'm not so sure we have enough density in our group of people who are actively engaged in the community to pull that off at the moment. But that would be a really cool way for me to connect with you guys all around the world. At least on TikTok, it's mostly the US, in the US. Um, in the future, I'd definitely look into that. Missy says, "You're silly and fun and could be really fun for kids gymnastics, unless you're not keen on kids." No, I love kids. I absolutely have a blast. Um, that could be a cool thing to do. But then I wouldn't be very keen on putting those kids in like videos, and it would get in the way of sort of other things that I do care about, which is creating content and trying to do the social media thing. So maybe kind of conflicting. We only know when we try it out, right? So I got no idea. Robbie asks, "Where are you located?" I am in the U.S. I'm on the East Coast. I don't really want to go too much deeper into it because I've heard about like streamers getting like doxxed and stuff. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Anu says, "What line of work are you in?" Right now, my regular full-time job is online marketing. So I'm usually at home at a computer and that gives me some flexibility to do things in the evening because I don't have to commute and spend 2 hours doing that. Cool. All right. What else we got? Mitzi Blue says makes sense. Um, Oh, on the topic of gymnastics, kids gymnastics would be awesome. I just don't have any personal background, right? So all the kids coming to Ken's kids gymnastics would also develop absolutely no useful skills for gymnastics. Maybe they'll be developing like skills for playing around, rolling, flopping, having a great time, but that's just daycare. That's like extra fun daycare. I don't know if that's how I want to run the next couple of years, as much as I love kids and as much as I love fooling around. Um, Also, if a kid gets injured, I feel like that'd be really bad. I'm the type of floppy crazy dude who would just do jumping around and stuff. I don't know. Man, it'd be fun if they were all family. I feel like I'd be too irresponsible if I had to, accept other people's money and do that. If they're all my friends' kids, done, no problem. We're hanging out, we're having fun, we're jumping up and down, we're throwing kids into trampolines and onto beds, and yeah, that's 100% doable. But as soon as it's somebody else that I don't know's kid, I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to take on that responsibility and also be as fun as I normally would be. So maybe that's just an excuse. Maybe not. I don't know. All right, what else we got? What else we got? What else we got? Alex says, "Do you have a sit and have a tall desk and stand?" Okay. The desks where you press a button and then it comes up. I do have one. I actually don't use it. It sits in my bedroom right now, and I don't use it at all. It stays in seated height mode, and right now it has laundry on it. So that's uh I own one and I don't use it. But I have another table that's a regular table and I share that table with my girlfriend. We sit at the same table, so it doesn't get moved up and down. Not that it could get moved up and down, but it is much larger than my sit stand desk and we have a bunch of monitors and tech and heavy stuff set up on it. So it doesn't move. Does not move. And neither does my butt when I sit down. All right, what else we got? Do 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 do. Scrolling around, scrolling around. A new ask, what zodiac sign are you? Um, I have I have no idea.
Gemini.
Oh, oh, I'm a Gemini. I've been told. Oh, that's the. Oh, okay, cool. Yes. Okay. That's silly. Uh, do we watch Love Island? No. What's Love Island? Which one is that? Is that the Korean one?
No, that's the reality show.
Which one's the Korean one? The fiery one?
The solos?
No.
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. No, I don't. Clearly, I'm like, which one's the Korean one? Singles Infernal Fire. See, there we go. I knew we saw that advertisement on Netflix. All right, thank you for clarifying. So it was just your birthday? Yes, I guess. Yeah. It's I do so many of these lives, and all my days are so packed. I forget that that's technically true. Because is how long is the cycle? It's like 2 months, right? Or is it 1 month? Is it May 20th to June 20th? Or is it May 20th to July 20th? What's the window?
1 month.
Is it just 1 month? So there's 12 zodiacs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was just yeah, I guess a couple of months ago was my birthday. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. That is probably about it. I'm ready to wrap because I gotta go do other stuff with my life. I can't just spend all of it on life. All right. I don't make money from this, so I need to go do productive stuff. Um I'll see you guys soon. Tomorrow's live is at 9 p.m. Eastern, and I will. When I say I don't make money from this, I don't want all the people who've been sending me roses and stuff to be like, "I send you roses. How can you not be making?" I do make a couple of dollars here and there, but I don't know how much you guys pay for those cute things that you send me.
Stickers.
The stickers, the roses, the glasses, and the cool stuff that happens in the back of my head, the teddy bear that shows up on the shoulder, but. I'm pretty sure TikTok takes like 75% of it or something huge because they do add up. They're meaningful. They're like a couple coffees a month, but it's not like I'm making like $100 a month on doing the lives. All right. So Thank you everybody who do send me the little gifts when they come. I appreciate them. I absolutely do. Just, you know, in case you had the misconception that everybody who does social media makes a ton of money from it, I don't. Just so you know. All right. That's it. I'm ready to wrap up. I'll see you guys real soon tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and I will be here doing some side splits and hit mobility. Thank you so much for asking cool questions, hanging out in the chat, hanging out for a whole bunch after our regular live has ended. We've almost gone as long as the live actually did. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you guys had fun. I hope I answered some questions that were interesting, and I hope to see you tomorrow night. All right, hit follow, hit subscribe, keep going back. We'll see you soon. Bye bye. Travel Darcy says good night, and Charat says have a good night. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And Jack says bye. Mitzi Blue says you said not doing anything this weekend. Take your girlfriend. Oh, that's a good point. I hope she didn't see that. Oh, she's giving me a dirty stank eye. She's like, what? You didn't think of that to begin with? You needed somebody else to tell you? I'm in trouble. All right, I'm closing it.